So, there we are. So sorry about that. Welcome back to another episode of Ladies in Light. I'm Jamaica Billiter with True Seekers Gemstones. Lovely Brooke Cooter from Tipsy Gypsy. Yay!
Hello.
Today we'll talk about toxic spirituality. What does that mean? What all does that involve? Most importantly, who is it?
Right.
Who's doing
How
it?
to identify them if you don't already, some of it's going to be a little bit of common sense, because you can sometimes tell. But there's a lot that, you're not really for sure. Then we will go into it.
Yeah, I'll tell you all about that. Some of the things that are toxic, most people wouldn't suspect. It doesn't seem they are accustomed to thinking that that's the right thing to say when really it's not. It's not the best way to approach some things. So we'll talk about that. We'll talk about spiritual narcissism, and we'll talk about some toxic spirits floating in the spirit realm.
Right.
So, exciting stuff.
Toxic all around.
Toxic.
I know. Oh, but it's positive as in we are, looking at how to take care of that, and how to take care of yourself whenever you are dealing with some challenging people and spirits.
Yes. And it's so important because that's not going to stop, not anytime soon. So the best thing that we can learn to do is how to cope and identify and transmute.
And transmute the energy. All right. So I see Bonnie's on here. Hi, Bonnie.
Mama, I feel like a punk rocker. Brooke hooked me up with this cute jacket today. And then I see my hair bobbing in the camera. And it's like ready to rock.
It's ready to rock. She's rocking.
Yeah.
I love it, though. This is like so adorable. Hi, Chelsea. And EBG. And hi, Jackie.
Yay.
Woohoo.
I'm glad to see you guys on here. Thank you for coming on with us every Wednesday and hanging out for a little bit.
We really appreciate it.
It's so much fun to us, and we love to try to help and to give some of our knowledge and, just hang out. So glad to do it.
These are good and fun topics too. So,
absolutely. Yeah.
All right. Hi, Mom. Hello.
And also, Brooke and I got these cute t-shirts down at the cute t-shirt store that says empowered women empower women. And that's such a true statement, because when you feel empowered yourself, you do not feel the need to take down, gossip, belittle, or punish, or be passive aggressive with other women, right? And so the more empowered you feel within yourself, the more you're able to give it to somebody else.
Yep. And know that it's not about competition or, and that kind of thing. It's really about supporting one another. And, but yeah, it's funny how sometimes ego will, get in there and the insecurities and whatnot. So, so we found that it was really important, especially with it being International Women's Month, and having an actual Women's Day as well, not too long ago. We thought it was really important to talk about empowering other women as well, and men too, but it's Women's Month. So
we'll get them another time.
That's right. They have their own month.
Yeah. So if you can support other women, please do.
Yeah.
And like she said, it is not a competition when you're playing your own game. Okay.
Yeah. All right. So we're going to be talking about that, the toxic souls and spirits. And then we're going to even, if we have time towards the end, we're going to do a little bit of freestyle Reiki.
Yeah.
Give you some healing as we close out today.
Since my choreography skills aren't up to boat, we're just gonna wing it.
No, you're totally fine. You're good. You're good.
I'm nervous.
Energy's coming anyway, you know?
Yeah. So it'll be all right, hopefully. My mom was like, she said she really felt it. Now, she's never done Reiki that I know of or experienced it, but she was talking about how powerful that was, that she really felt it. She said she felt better. So
yay.
Yeah, I hope you guys do too.
That's the whole reason why we're doing it. So hopefully others will be able to feel that too. It's truly, some people will feel tingling. Some will feel, some will close their eyes and kind of see some colors. The other thing is that besides the tingling, you might get some heat or coldness, chills, or that kind of thing. So yeah, it's supposed to be all for good.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. And then, hi, Emily. I just want to say hi to you. I'm going to do this. That way you're able to see too. I always forget to do that.
Oh, okay. You got that.
Okay.
And we have our big.
Do I?
Somebody else's stuff. Every time.
It's every time.
It's okay. We got our big obsidian tower here to block out any toxic, negative, low vibrational, nasty vibes.
Yeah, look at this.
He's
Look
a
at this sucker.
monster. He's a monster.
Look
He's
at
mirror
that.
obsidian.
Yes, this is obsidian.
Yeah.
And then, what was you saying earlier? How you can use it in not just not the bad way, but other ways that this can be used.
Yeah.
Just,
so you could poke somebody with it if you had to. You could bash them. It's a pretty big piece. So
It's heavy.
you'd have to
It's
weigh
heavy.
it though. Like, are they toxic enough to break my
To
crystal
break my
for?
crystal, yeah.
I
Are
don't
they
know,
worth it? I don't know.
It's a
But
nice.
this is like,
Yeah, he's a monster.
he's a monster, but he is appreciated.
Oh,
yeah.
definitely.
Yeah. So if anybody is needing some crystals to help with the, with negativity and expelling negative energy and whatnot, then you get you some obsidian. Mm-hmm.
That'll do
Okay, that'll do it. Emily says the Hulk in obsidian form.
That's right. That's
For
what that
real.
guy is.
That's what that guy
He's
is.
tough.
It's tough, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so you want to talk about, did you want to talk about spiritual bypassing, or do you want to talk about, what do you want to talk about first? We've got a list here.
I think you should talk about challenger souls. That
it's
would be a
interesting,
good,
right?
Yo.
Okay.
I know.
And we all deal with these challenging souls or challengers, okay? So what this means is usually everybody has a challenger or a few challengers in life, okay? And that is being able to identify like, okay, my not my mom, but I was going to use that as an example.
She's like, hey,
like my mom's a challenger. Not at all. She's actually the opposite.
Yeah.
But you might have somebody close to you that truly challenges you, or it's somebody that you butt heads with a lot. And so there's a reason for this. And there could be it's not even just you and that person. That person might truly find, they almost seem like they find things to argue about, or they find things to kind of nitpick, or, you might go out to eat and they might make things a little difficult, even going out to eat or talking to the waitress or the waiter. So what these souls, what these people have in their life chart, their theme is called challenger. And so if you are a challenger, that means that you are here as one of your big purposes. And boy, are they really good at it a lot of times, right? Like some of these are like overachievers, but what they're supposed to do is they are supposed to challenge us into looking at things from a different perspective. Mm-hmm. They are meant to challenge us to where we can look at morals, ethics, and how to set boundaries. Mm. That is one of the biggest things. So let's just say that you and I were butting heads. Mm-hmm. We never do, but let's just say you and I are butting heads. And I notice like, whoa, everything that we have an opinion on, it's usually, it could be opposite. Yeah. Or we're always we have a hard time finding a common ground. Mm-hmm. Whenever that happens, that means that most likely that you are a challenger to me and I'm a challenger to you. Now, if you're like that with everyone, then that means that you're just truly a challenger for everyone. You're supposed to make everybody have a little bit of a hard time. And so
I'm going to go down there and give them all hell. Is that what that means?
That's right. Yeah, I'm going to make people miserable. No, but I will say that some challengers will take it overboard because these are the unhealthy challengers. So you have people who are maybe mentally, unstable, or they're dealing with depression and they're having a hard time. And if they have challenger as a theme, then they're going to make your day terrible. And you're going to be like, why does this person have to yell? Or why does this person have to do this? Or why is it always a thing with this person? Right. And so, and sometimes they're so blind, and it's because they really are supposed to be blind in ways because they are meant to challenge because they see things differently. But then other times they take it to a toxic level. And that's the difference. You have challengers. Some can be kind of toxic, or they feel a little toxic, but some are truly toxic. And those are the kind of challengers that you want to remove from your life, because no way are you able to learn much from somebody who you truly who's truly disconnected.
Yeah.
Okay. So if you see that there's a little bit of give and take, then that's when you truly learn from that person. But when you have somebody who's completely like on the other end, you're like,
Right.
almost like, what's the point?
Mhm.
But I will say that one lesson that would still come out of that is learning to say no
Mhm.
and learning about boundaries, no matter what.
Yeah.
Because that's when you have to say, you know what, I'm gonna have to cut you out of my life because you truly are like, you're just challenging in multiple ways and it's actually creating a disbalance in my life. So that's
yeah, when they
interesting.
become poisonous to you in all
Yes.
aspects.
In all aspects.
Yeah, and you can't find, no matter what spiritual truth or practice you reach for, it's not going to take with this person. Then it's time to let that person go.
It's time to let that person go because there's more damage being done than
Mhm.
good. And, if they're not learning their lessons, then you're not going to be able to learn yours as well. You can learn a little bit, but not as much. So it's important to be able to recognize what is your boundaries,
Yeah.
what is your limits, and how much disrespect are you supposed to take? So there's
That's a good one.
yeah. So don't be disrespected. Sometimes that might come across, in certain topics or something. And if they can evolve and learn from that and do a little bit better, then great. Then that's their purpose.
Mhm.
But if they consistently, butt heads and that kind of thing, and you're like, whoa, this is really like this person's argumentative.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's when it's a bad
or
violent.
Yeah, just that kind
Abusive in ways
yes.
too.
And that can be mentally, physically, emotionally, any other abusive ways.
Right.
There are some people that just won't quit that. And
Mhm.
Brooke and I have talked about this. Now, she politely calls them challengers. I very laymanly call them pain in the asses. And they deserve every bit of that because we have some challengers, particularly Jared has some challengers in his chart,
Right.
in his life plan.
Jared
Because
has a
he's an
challenge.
overachiever. Oh, God, we know his challengers, right? And
Right.
I mean, some of them are
Yes.
downright below the belt, uncalled for, almost unforgivable, just trying to destroy
Really terrible.
not only his life, his business, I mean, everything.
Everything.
There's a couple that are
Right.
just sickening, right?
Yeah,
I mean, it's just that bad.
definitely two that I can
Yeah.
see.
And so he has those in his life. And then, if like they're a challenger at a soul level, they come in and said, okay, we're going to challenge you this.
Right.
And then I feel like something a lot of people don't know about Jared, that if they did, like when you awaken, you kind of get a touch of your soul and who that really is on that higher level.
Yeah.
And so if a few people knew who he really was, things would be different.
Things would be different.
And so we'll just say that, I'm sure you've heard this before. They're like, be kind to strangers because you never know who that is. You never know if that's an angel in the homeless person form, and then you were mean to them and you disrespected them. So it's kind of like that. You know what I mean? But he did sign up for that in a lot of ways, right?
He signed up. Not to give too much information on him, but as for in my role, anyway, you can say whatever. You go ahead. Yeah. But in my role, what I'll say is that as I've tapped in, yes, that he has taken one of the paths of it's like an advanced path, okay, and that means that he is going to have to really he's got these blockades of challengers, and he's doing a good job with being able to, to keep his head held high and, continue as is and whatnot. But that is definitely one of his, I guess, the downfalls in picking a more accelerated, advanced life.
Yeah. So everybody wants to come and be a saint, but nobody wants to walk through the fire to do it, but that's what it takes. And so, when we have these challengers or some other toxic souls, the whole goal of that is transmutation and lessons learning. So they're there. All darkness is there for a reason. That is just one.
That's right. Yep. That's true. Yep. So that's what challengers. Anyone have any questions real quick about a challenger soul?
Anybody have any challengers in their life?
Now
you do.
We all do. We all do. And it doesn't always have to be necessarily a negative thing, by the way.
Right.
But
not all of them are as drastic as some of the ones we experience.
Yeah. Not everyone's as drastic because they're doing their role. They're challenging and then they move on, or they, but some of them are doozies, man. I was like, man, they're an overachiever and being a challenger, like,
yeah,
like,
they need to calm down.
Yeah. And that's when, if I feel I have finally, this is like on my journey, I have finally gotten to the point where if someone continually pushes my boundaries, if someone continually disrespects me, then I will simply cut you out. And I'm very forgiving and I'm very understanding because I really, that's just me.
Yeah, sure.
Honestly, I understand, people are going through lessons and everything. And especially if I'm tapping in, I can see what kind of lessons that they're going through. So I see the good in so many people. But when there's something that's below the belt or there's something that, then it's like people will see that I will go cold and I will completely cut off because I will not subject myself to that. And it takes a little while to learn that, and
yeah, it does.
And it hurts too, because there's some people that I really care about that have really, that you've just had to really cut out your life. So, but sometimes it's needed. So anyway, so don't feel guilty if you are in that situation where even if it's like a family member or somebody that you're close to one time, a best friend or something like that, there are times where it's like, okay, enough is enough, and I'm done being a doormat.
Yeah.
I'm no longer a doormat.
Yeah. So you learned, and then they moved on. And that's the gist of it.
Yep. Okay, let's see. Oh, hi, Karen. Yeah, Emily says, I feel it's super hard to learn your boundaries while being around someone who consistently oversteps.
Yeah.
It is. It really is. And that's when you are truly, even you second guess yourself. And there's times where you're like, am I crazy? Or am I really just too sensitive? Maybe I'm too sensitive.
Yeah.
Okay, let this go a little bit. And so anyway, but there's a point that it comes to that you have to kind of recognize what's my limit. And
I think this for a lot of people, people think that change happens over time, change in personalities or whatever. And it truly doesn't. It happens in an instant because when you make your mind up, when you've had enough, there it is.
There it is. Yeah.
We put up with a lot more than we think we ever will, or that we say that we ever will, but we really do tolerate a lot.
We do. Yeah.
And so you'll know when it's finally there because you'll end it, just like Brooke. You'll end it.
Yeah. You finally just get to the point where it's like, okay. And luckily I've not had to do that to a lot of people in my life. So luckily there's, the challengers I've had in my life have truly have done pretty good at challenging me. And then, I have to respect that because that's their purpose. So, and also that's for me to learn. So I'm like, okay, bring it on. If you're truly supposed to challenge me in this area, then please do. I will accept it. I will learn whatever I need to. But when you get disrespectful and there's a pattern of it, he's out.
Or mean,
Or mean, yeah.
There's a difference in being like, well, Brooke, I don't think we should handle that way. You being like me either, or I think we should do it this way. And then, figuring that out as opposed to like, I don't like anything you do. I don't any of the time. I'm never going to agree with you.
Yeah, I'm never going to,
I'm not going to compromise with
it. Yeah.
It's cold up here.
I know, it is cold.
It's chilly. I didn't realize.
Okay. And then EBG says, I still find it odd that people are intimidated by Jared when they first meet him. I never got that feeling.
So Jared, it's not that they're intimidated. Jared has a big energy. Jared holds a very high vibration. And the fact that he's around a lot of crystals just amplifies that.
Right.
So a lot of people say intimidated, but what they mean is the energy is so strong that they're not sure how to react with it.
Right. Yep. It's true. I think that it's something you have to kind of adjust, and not everybody, but some people have
I will say that I've noticed women who will say, oh, Jared sounded scary or whatever, have often had a pattern of toxic men in their lives. So they perceive that big energy as something to be scared of.
Like to cower kind of maybe. It makes them a little uncomfortable because they have to figure out the energy of that.
Right.
Yeah. I could see that. Okay. So we'll go ahead and, real quick, EBG says, I'm still learning to cut people out of my life, though I've done it a few times.
I tell you, a good way to practice and a good way that I've done it was because it's hard to go direct for people. So I built my way up there. Brooke knows I'm a micro person. I take baby steps and all micro things because it's effective for me. So if I have a song that comes on the radio that I don't I'm not going to vibe with, if I don't like it, I'm not going to sit and listen to it, let it play out. I immediately turn it off, right? If I have a food that I don't like, I'm not going to force myself to try it. I immediately stop. And so after doing that with these little micro things in my life, then it becomes easier to do with people. You just don't tolerate from the get-go. It's just done out.
Yeah, I can see where that's helpful by doing that.
Yeah, so start with little things maybe.
Yeah, that's good advice. Okay, so those are challenger souls. Now, do we want to talk about toxic behavior? More of like the spiritual narcissist?
Or we could, yeah. I'm going to wait to get to that subject. Let's do spiritual bypassing.
Yeah,
is that cool?
That's cool.
Okay, so what is spiritual bypassing? Spiritual bypassing is when you will hold on to certain beliefs like that are overly positive and will use positivity or letting go and trusting as a way to ignore what you're actually feeling or suppress what you were feeling. Or so Brooke comes up and she hurts my feelings, and I go and I tell Jared, Brooke really hurt my feelings, and he says, oh, well, it was probably for your highest good, and what can you take and learn from that? And, things like that, instead of acknowledging how I feel, holding the space to let me express it. He's bypassed me, he's bulldozed me, he's ran it over, right? And so if I say, Brooke, I'm having a hard time right now, I'm super stressed, I don't know what to do, I've got these problems, and you say, just let it go, set an intention into the universe, and you'll be taken care of, right? That hurts me. That dismisses me. That makes me feel invalid. That's not holding the space for me.
Right.
And so spiritual bypassing can lead to all kinds of problems. You do not want to use these newer beliefs or these newer perceptions to unacknowledge what you were feeling now, or to get rid of it, or to try to suppress it.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's one thing to acknowledge and say, okay, tell me more, like, okay, so how do you feel about that? And tell me, does that remind you of something from your past, or actually like help you kind of understand it a little bit more? And then go into more of a positive kind of thing, but to immediately like, oh, it's almost like keeping things at surface. And if you keep things at surface, like those heavy things are just going to keep sitting, and they're going to go deeper and deeper, and they're going to become stagnant. And then they're going to come right back up at some point. They're going to end up bubbling back up because you suppressed it, because it was like, oh, it was dismissed. I shouldn't.
Right. I shouldn't have felt that way. I feel guilty now because I should have held this higher belief, because I should have trusted God, the universe, the process, whatever.
Right.
And I didn't. And so now I feel bad. Right.
Right. Yeah.
And
it's like, no, acknowledge that you're going to have those emotions, and and whatnot. And
oh yeah, of course. Yeah. I think if the world could learn to hold space, it would be such a better place. Brooke has mastered this. She's excellent. I've seen her do it 1,000 times. I cannot praise you enough on this.
Oh.
This is something that I noticed very early on. I was like, that girl knows what she's doing. Yeah.
Oh.
It's holding space. And so what does that mean? Well, that means if I come to you with a problem, you don't dismiss me. You don't talk about something else. You're very present with me. You let me express it. And then after I say, because that's what people want. They need the validation. Like, Brooke, should I not feel bad about this?
Right.
No, you have the right. You have the right to every emotion that you have, right?
Yeah,
and so
absolutely.
when she hears you and she validates you, and then she can help you. Right? And that is holding space. That is allowing room for somebody to be and feel and say without interrupting, without giving advice, without judgment, and you just let it be. And when you can do that, you can change the world.
Yeah. Well, thank you for that.
Oh, girl.
I have space.
You do. You hold space very well. She's a pro.
Oh.
Well practiced.
Well, thank you. Okay. Yeah. Well, I'll take it.
Like, I like her.
Well, you too.
Oh,
yeah. Okay. So that's bypassing, and that's almost like a passive way of kind of getting through that, right? It's kind of like the surface stuff.
And it's kind of a defense mechanism. So, because I don't want to feel it. So let me just not worry about my electric bill, and God will give me a lottery ticket, and it'll all be okay, because I don't want to feel the anxiety of not being able to pay my bill.
Yeah. And so there's a point where you have faith in things, and you know that like, hey, things are going to work out. It's going to be fine. But if you don't put any work or action towards that, or actually work in manifesting that, like you can't just sit there and expect everything to kind of come to you. So you have to find that balance of doing that action, doing the hard work, but then also having the faith that things are going to work out, you know. But if you have those, you know, we're human, and if you have those hitches and those hurdles and you get stuck and you get in your emotions or you get frustrated or heck, I mean, get depressed and that kind of thing, that's normal. You know, it's like, okay, work through it and let's lift you up and, you know, and progress through it.
Yeah. Good vibes only. That's toxic. Quit saying that shit. No.
Good vibes only. What's so
like good vibes? Yes. Only.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, because you gotta have a little bit of both.
Yeah.
Have a little bit of both.
How could you go through your day and not experience an inconvenience? You know, something not patient or you know whatever.
No,
it's always
you
going to happen, and that's part of the human journey. We're not perfect,
right?
know?
And we're not supposed to really experience perfect. You know, we're really not
be in heaven.
Exactly. If it was perfect, it would be in heaven. But yeah, you have your glimmers. You have those. You know, you try to stay positive and whatnot, but you have to acknowledge, because in those uncomfortable moments, there are lessons, and there's something that your soul is supposed to learn and experience. So
yes, because uncomfortable feelings, what they really are, is a sign of being out of alignment with the core of who you are.
Right.
So, you know, if I'm feeling something uncomfortable like guilt or shame, that's telling me that whatever happened is not in alignment with who I truly am.
Right.
And so I need to fix that.
Yeah. And then that's when you take a magnifying glass and say, okay, where does this stem from? You know,
what are
and a lot of times things can stem from, you know, childhood, you know, teenage years and that kind of thing. Heck, it could be past life stuff too.
Yeah, that's
a whole other thing.
If you can't figure it out from this life, it's probably in a past one.
Yeah.
Definitely.
But like you touched on the good vibes only. There's a few of those. We were talking about how there's a few of those like sayings or words that have kind of like a negative kind of
they do
feel
people
to it.
Want to say them because they think that they're doing good. They think that maybe that's the only thing they know to say, you know, but they're really dismissive and not good.
Right. Or it's almost like a what's the word that I was using earlier? It's almost like a keeping yourself kind of high. What did I say? It's
like an idealism.
Yeah, like having like that, like feeling like you're better than other people,
or a little bit of spiritual ego,
a little bit of spiritual ego, which you had talked about. Yeah, and so that could be you know, some people saying you know, like, is that organic?
I can't eat
I can only
I can only eat it if it's organic.
Or
you know, people when they use spiritualism to downplay other people, it becomes a spiritual ego.
Right.
Yeah. Or you know, I really like this one that was like, we got to wake the sheeple because they're unaware and they don't know, and it's my mission to go out and wake them up.
Right.
No, it's not. Leave them alone. They'll evolve when they evolve.
Right.
You know,
you can help them along the way.
Sure.
But you don't have to, like, it's the ego thing about it. And this is what's interesting too. The more that I've gotten into the spiritual field, the more that I've done this professionally and whatnot, I have to say that it is interesting that as much as there's still, I mean, there's beautiful souls that are doing spiritual work and everything, for sure, 100%.
Absolutely.
But you do have that fraction, just like any other area in your life or any other career. You have those that truly are in their ego and they think that they're better than others, you know, or they think that like they have this, almost like they, I can't think of the word. There's no word.
Sorry.
Oh, it's okay.
I'm sorry.
It's okay. I'm going to have to look at you.
Actually, Gail and I talked about this once, and we were talking about what we call the false light. And that is people that are, you see them, they'll post, sending healing vibes. I wish everybody has a blessed day. And then in the next breath, you see them cussing somebody out or doing something terrible. And it's like, that is a false light. So you do have people that pretend to be light, but are really not.
Yeah.
They're dark spirits. But
the word I was thinking of was pretentious. It's almost like pretentious or that kind of thing.
Yeah, so spiritual snobs.
Yes, exactly. That's the spiritual snobs, you know, it's like,
But yeah, Gail and I talked about that. I said, don't expect to walk into a spiritual community and expect everybody to be conscious and spiritual. It is like walking into a church and expecting everybody to act like a Christian. Not gonna happen, you know. It's not like that.
No.
I'm sorry to bust your bubble, but no.
Yeah.
You
No,
know.
it's not like that.
It's not.
All right. Then, another thing too is, so we were going to touch on real quick karma.
Oh yeah.
So for those who say like, oh, they use it in like a negative kind of way of saying like, oh, they're going to get their karma or they're going to get this or that. And so while, you know, whenever we have karma, sometimes that is like a negative effect, right? Like it is something, you know, that somebody's getting, you know, someone's getting justice or somebody is having to learn something like a really hard lesson because they did something crappy, you know? So there is karma, but the way that we use it is that there's good karma too. There's good karma, there's bad karma, there's karma you have to pay off, but it all boils down to soul lessons. It all boils down to the lessons that we are meant to learn. And if we run astray, then karma will pull us back, and you will, and you know, oh, this is the other thing too, is when, people are like, well, I don't see where this was served, or karma was served. Like I'm waiting to see when karma served, or I want to see, it's almost like a revenge kind of thing.
Right.
And I say, you know, I understand, you know, like I understand that you're frustrated and that you're hurt and that this person, you know, they should have something done, right? There should be justice and whatnot. But sometimes the universe takes a minute, but the universe and everybody knows what they're doing. So it's like validate, listen, and then know that, you know, yes, karma will come in. It doesn't mean like karma's coming in,
Right.
and, you know, but it's got all like,
tower gonna be falling.
boom.
God.
That's a tower right there.
That is a tower.
That's a tower. I just had to touch on that with karma because the way that it's not always looked at in a positive way, and it really should be, you know, because either way, if the karma, the revenge that does come and it does happen, then there's going to be, there's still good that comes from that because that person is going to learn something, you know, most likely.
Yeah, and I mean, you're right. Most people use karma in a negative way. I've never heard anybody walking around like, can't wait to get my karma. I've never heard anybody say that because karma has such a bad...
Oh, karma's catching up to me.
Yeah, buddy, gonna cash in my karma today. It's gonna be awesome.
That's right. No, it's like, oh, crap.
Oh, shit.
What happened?
Is that karma?
Is that, okay, that's because I did this, right?
I knew I should have
we all
tipped
have
him
karma.
more. Now I hurt my toe. That's my karma.
I hurt my face. My cat gave me karma.
Didn't give her enough treats, and she bam. Taught me.
She taught, taught you. Cats will give karma. Cats are.
Cats don't care. They ain't waiting on nobody. They'll serve it themselves.
That's right.
I hate the universe. Psh, take that up. Smookity snack.
That's right. Okay. Now we can talk about. Do you want me to go ahead and talk about toxic spirits, or do you want to talk about toxic, some other kind of toxic behavior?
There's all kinds. We had to have 2 lists. That's how long toxic stuff is.
There's a lot of toxicity out there. You know?
We got. Gosh,
Oh,
we're
a
already
half hour.
going through.
I know. Oh, they do, Chelsea. Sorry.
Oh, yeah.
I just saw where Chelsea says people try to use karma as a threat sometimes. That's exactly what I was getting at.
Yep.
It's like a threat, or it's like, you're going to get yours, or, and you know, it's okay to be mad. Like, okay, say you're mad, but yeah, it's when you use it in that way. It's just,
Yeah. Buddha would be offended.
oh, Buddha would be like, what?
I think we could also, real quick, I'll touch on this and I'll give you the rest of the game.
Okay.
We'll talk about spiritual narcissism. And so you'll see this with a lot of gurus or wannabe gurus or people online, you know. We have a lot of great gurus out there. But what happens, and this is not just gurus, but like cult leaders. Okay, this is a form of spiritual narcissism. And they'll find these beliefs and they will hold them in such truth, and they will go around and they will spread them to everybody, whether they want to hear it or not. And they think, oh, I'm righteous. I know the way. You follow me, right? I mean, how many times you hear that? Follow me for more. Like, no, I don't want to.
Like, no,
they get
energy's icky.
Yes. I'm gonna unfollow. Where's the toxic button? So they develop these beliefs and they come into this righteousness and they try to spread that to others and get others to like them, to follow them, to believe them just as they do because it is the right way. You know, and I was telling Summer, so there's this really great spiritual author. He came out in the 70s. It was one of the first ones. His name was Richard Bach. And he did Jonathan Livingston Seagull, which was pretty enlightening for its time. And anyway, he does this other book in the series, and it's called Illusions of a Reluctant Messiah. And it's a beautiful book. And there's many parables, and you fall in love with it. And it's just so great, right? And at the end of the book, it says, everything in this book may be wrong, right? That's so important because no matter the beliefs I hold, what Brooke holds, what the church, what anybody holds in any religion, it could all be wrong, right? They're just beliefs, thoughts, and ideas. And so you shouldn't let anybody persuade you into any set beliefs because when you do, you can fall into that cult-like mentality.
That's true.
The spiritual narcissists, they're out there. They'll make you feel below them because you don't know these truths. How foolish are you? How unevolved are you? How 3D are you? Right?
Yeah. Follow me. I'm in the 5D. You know, and you know, and there's a lot of that with even like psychics and stuff.
Sure.
You know, there's psychics that are out there that will prey on people, you know, and especially during vulnerable moments.
Yeah.
Heck, I have people when I'm doing Tarot Tuesdays, I have scammers and people trying to like come in and say, for a real reading, you know, get a hold of me. Or if you have problems with your boyfriend, and I'm like, stop, get out of here.
Yeah.
So I'm always like, get out of here, guy. So I end up blocking them and whatnot. But you have people who prey on people who are having vulnerable moments. And so, so it's super important. I'm not saying, hey, come, you have to come see me. I'm just saying, hey, make sure that, that you check out your psychic or your tarot reader or whoever, your energy healer, whomever it is that you're going to see, get a little bit of information about them or chat with them and see what their energy's like and see if you jive, you know, see if you guys, what did the kids say? Vibe, see if you're vibing.
And if they make you sell your house to, you know, afford their readings, they're probably not good. Right?
That's another thing.
Red
I've
flag.
heard, if it's like an absurd amount of money,
just come see Brooke.
Yeah.
She's affordable.
Wait, I'm leading the way. Okay? I have all the answers.
That's right.
I wish I did.
Right. I'd be like, give them to me, bro. Tell us all.
I know.
What's the lottery numbers? Let's do it.
We'll all chip it, but it's all gone. If everybody,
oh no,
everybody gets it, then we're not going to, you know, have enough. Oh my gosh.
It is truly a fight to hold the light sometimes, or fight for the light, because when you are good and you are trying to do right and you're trying to do it the most ethical and best way you can, not because anybody told you to, because that's what you think is right as a person, the amount of attack that will rain down upon it is absurd. You know, you would never think that. Brooke and I've talked about this before. Like, you would never think that we would have, you know, we would have never thought that. How bad it can be.
How many people, it's almost like your light might scare some people, offend people, or, you know, like you're insecure, it might rub you the wrong way or something. But it is interesting how people will attack. And, so
because they feel unempowered. So empower yourselves and you'll be all right.
the attitude. But it's true. Empower yourselves and then you won't feel the need, you know, to do that. But it is, you know, it's one of those things where it's like, ouch, you know, okay. But then you end up getting, you know, to where, like I said before, you get used to it. And then like, you know what, it's, again, I'm not putting my energy towards that. Like, I'm just not.
Because it's toxic.
Yeah. And it's like, ultimately you got to let things go. And if you're not doing that, then I can't even. I can't even. Right. Let's see what else people are saying. Oh, my mom says that we're both awesome.
Oh, that's sweet.
That's sweet. Mama. Okay. Chelsea says, people can see your light shine if you are living your life, making the choices for your better self. You don't have to chase them down or force it down their throat.
Amen. Amen. Lead by example.
Lead by example.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's all you got to do.
When someone tries to force something on me, it's like that inner rebellion. You know?
You
It's
actually
like,
want to say no. Go away.
yeah, I go into like a defense mode. And it's like, what is, no, like it doesn't feel right. No, you're not going to tell me.
And it's
what to do.
because nobody knows what's best for you better than
You.
and your energy at that moment. And that may change. You know,
Yeah.
it may not, but yeah.
But yeah, but only you can decipher that. And so, yeah. Mm-mm. Oh, my mom, Marty says, I truly have a problem with peeps who think they're better than me or you. Yep, karma big time. Yep, yep. Jackie says, you get karma, karma for everyone.
You get karma. You get some Oprah karma.
That's what she says.
Yeah.
Oprah.
I knew where she was going. I got you.
Where it was going. Dude, you do. We're going to share it all, you know?
I hope to have Oprah money one day. Because I do the same stuff. I just give it, you know.
Uh-huh.
You get a car.
Right. Yeah, and stop the bullying for sure.
Ridiculous.
What does Natasha say? Make sure they got the wrist, bra. Make sure they got the wrist, bra.
We ain't hip, you know. I don't know.
Yeah. As my youngest son reminds me, constantly, and
we're cringe.
And your son too. Our boys are not afraid to knock us down.
Mm-mm.
They humble.
Yeah.
They humble.
They're not toxic.
No,
they're a little bit challenged.
Oh,
not
no,
like a challenger because they're sweet.
Oh, yeah,
so, but yeah, they are very. They're both Aspie boys, so they're very blunt and very to the point. And with their mothers, no mercy.
No mercy.
Yeah. No mercy.
Oh man, so true. Oh, hi, Katrina.
Yay, Katrina's here.
Woo,
Hi, Katrina.
Hello. A little party. What?
Yeah. Happy dance.
Happy dance. So now we're gonna go ahead and get into some toxic spirits. Okay.
Actually, I did because I was calling it.
You sound like a ghost. Ooh, ooh. So, some toxic spirits, meaning, so you have your ghosts and that kind of thing. There are toxic spirits that can influence, and I'm not going to say obviously that's just some, right? So you do have a lot of energies that are good, and they're just doing their own thing and whatnot. But you have some doozies out there, and those doozies can influence a home. So if you have certain ghosts that have negative energy, they're trying to get you out and that kind of thing, then it is going to affect you in some way. And it might even, it's going to be exhausting for you. You're going to feel drained and whatnot. But the biggest, most toxic kind of soul or kind of spirit energy is poltergeist. And it is, I would call them demons, but spirit has shown me is a really, really long word. And so they said it's comparable to what we would say demons are. But anyway, but they don't actually, spirit hasn't said that they're actually demons. Okay. But I'm going to call them that because I don't know how to pronounce this long word that they have provided me. But you do have some of those energies, that will be in the house, or they can be attached to people and that kind of thing. So if, there's plenty of times I've had to go to people's houses to do cleansing. Sometimes whenever I was doing the Ghoul Sisters, Fancy and I would go and we would do, investigations and that kind of thing. But then I would cleanse and try to help, the spirits and whatnot. But I tell you, there are some doozies where I have really had met my matching ways as much as to where it was like, I almost don't know what to do, So I had to really, really depend upon spirit to guide me and to help with that, because they will add so much stress in your life. And for those who have had haunted houses, or they have been influenced by spirits, you know exactly what I'm talking about, because it affects people, and I have, there's been a common theme lately. I even have somebody scheduled tomorrow, but I have an influx of young kids that are being affected. And so, they're starting to come to me, and of course that's accompanied by their parent. But I will assist them and try to help them through what it is that they're seeing. And I will even go to their house and try to do cleansing and whatnot. I try to, I'll give them crystals, or I'll help them pick out some crystals and that kind of thing. But it has definitely been an influx lately. But it is, no matter what, just seeing spirits in general can be a very scary thing, especially as a child. But whenever you add that to being a dark kind of energy, or
right, one that's trying to force you to be fearful and force you to be scared, and one that's and then they'll
take
even
sleep, takes your sleep, and
yes,
you
and they'll
can't
cause you
function.
to be anger. You'll be angry about. So if just like a drastic personality change in somebody, be aware. That can happen.
Right.
Absolutely.
It can definitely happen. So you can definitely be influenced by them. So if anybody ever does come across that and you do need help, I have helped multiple people with that. So you can always let me know.
I want to tell this because a lot of people think that Brooke has to physically come to your house.
Right.
But that's not true. She can astrally project there. And I always worry oh, Brooke's in my house. She's gonna see my laundry basket, my dirty dishes. Don't look at that. Go for the ghost. No.
So message me can you take a look, or can you tap in? And so I'll tap in, and it's I'm not looking at your laundry.
She'll know it and put it away. It's folded and clean, but Brooke's in the house.
No, I go. It's a different kind of. Yeah, I'm not seeing everything.
That was always my thoughts.
Yeah.
But yeah, she doesn't actually have to show up at your address. So if you live far away or something like that, it's still doable.
Yeah, I can still do it. And then I'll let you know. I'll attempt it, and I'll let you know if it's not doable. If it's something that I truly have to be there physically for. Yeah. There's a few I've had to actually be there physically, but there's quite a few that I've definitely been able to, or I've been able to assist the person to get rid of it themselves. And a lot of times they're not. Here's the thing. A lot of times the energies are not that bad. It's just that they're frightful for people.
Right.
So, it's oh, that's scary because this happened and this happened. Well, yeah, I could totally see why, that would be, off-putting,
especially
right?
if you're not used to that, or
if you're not used
familiar
to it.
with it. Yeah.
Yeah. This is not part of, and you're whoa, or you just moved into a house and you're I don't believe in that. And then now you're a believer because I've had plenty of those people too.
I know, I'm laughing because of the people I've seen the stories, oh no, I never get to say I don't believe in any of that ghost. Right. And then they come in here oh my God, that was terrifying.
Hold on, let me go. I'll be right back. And I come out what's happening?
Yeah.
But yeah, it's funny. But yeah, I can do some of that remote as well, just so you know. But yeah, if there is anything, that anybody's experiencing, it really is a toxic thing. But the poltergeist, my goodness, you guys have probably, most people have seen the movie Poltergeist from the 1980s.
Yeah.
I thought you said,
yeah, I don't want to watch it now.
I really, messed up by. Gosh, I love that movie.
Oh my God.
Because here's the thing. No, the reason why, let me explain why. The reason why I love that movie, and I will watch it a lot, because whenever I was young, what's her name?
Carol Ann.
Carol Ann was just a few years older than me whenever that movie came out. So I was her being able to see things and deal with those things, that was something that I was whoa, wait a minute, flip me out. Eventually when I did watch it, I didn't watch it right at that age, but whenever I got a little bit older, it helped me feel a little bit better about what I experienced and that kind of thing.
Do it.
Yeah. And it's
child.
There for a while, I'm do I leave the TV on? So I kind of worried about the TV a little bit, but I have to say that it was more of a comfort for me to be able to see some of that. But ultimately, the poltergeist, it really is this really crazy energy that just comes up, and it's a doozy. So never want to have to deal with a poltergeist, and it's those are going to be the most powerful spirits that you ever deal with, or energies that you deal with. The other thing is portals. So sometimes people have portals in their house. Sometimes. Yeah, I've had a portal in my house before. And it was actually an apartment that I lived in years ago. But yeah, there's sometimes we have portals, and it's just an area that's easier for spirits to come and go. So you end up getting, you end up seeing quite a few quite a bit of activity, seen a few different ghosts and that kind of thing. But it can be a little overwhelming and draining whenever you have a portal in your home as well.
Mm-hmm.
But that all feels, I mean, it's heavy. It can be toxic as well. But you also have ones I call wanderers and whatnot, and they'll wander through, and they have no, I mean, they're good energy. They just haven't fully crossed.
Transition.
Yeah.
My house is okay, though, because it's so blessed. I mean, it's Crystal City, right?
Crystal, yes. Crystal City. Yeah. You guys are definitely good, for sure.
Well, if I'm ever not, I'm just like, Brett, help. She comes running. She's so good. Yeah.
What's up? Who does me?
That's her for real.
Ghostbusters.
Yes, she is.
Ooh, I need one of those. Like,
that would be cool.
I wouldn't need it, but it would be fun
cool.
to like use it. It would look really cool. I'd be like, oh my gosh, look at me.
I'm ready.
I'm ready.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Yeah. So let's see what else people are saying. Let's see. EBG says, I have spirits here that are not negative at all. Though the old man is a bit grouchy, but my friend had one in her old house. That was terrible. He made everyone feel drained, nauseous, and gave the worst headaches. Luckily, she had moved and he stayed.
Yeah.
And sometimes they will follow from time to time. But I'm glad that spirit had stayed for sure.
Yeah. I mean, if I didn't know Brooke and I had something like that, I'd move too. Absolutely, hands down, wouldn't hesitate. You know?
Well, and
I know some people can't. You know, they're like locked into contracts and things like that.
And stuff, and it becomes really difficult.
Yeah.
And you know, and I treat everybody as HIPAA here. So whenever I have someone as a client, it's HIPAA. I don't give names or anything like that. What I will say is that I did have a couple that have came to me because they had a man, from what they could tell, was a man in their home, and their home was much older and whatnot, and it was affecting their child. So, so went and checked on, you know, the child, and actually, you know, had removed them and went in and tried to take care of this energy. Well, it just so happened to be what I would call a demon, but it, again, it's this other term. But that was, I mean, the lights were going crazy. It was 3 hours of a battle of getting this energy to go. So, you know, but it affected them, and they were like, you are our last hope, because we're going to have to, we love our house. We don't want to move. This is actually our dream house. And so, but we cannot have our child subjected to this. And I said, no, I absolutely understand. I'm like, I can't give promises, but, you know, we'll see what we can do. And so, again, that's with Ghoul Sisters and whatnot. We went and really worked on Ghostbusted. But get this, that energy left. And when that energy left, the streets, the lights outside and everything went out. When he left, I had the archangels taking him out. And so whenever he was leaving, flipped people out.
Yeah.
Flipped them out, because it was like all the lights went out.
Like movie style.
Yeah. One guy jumped in his Jeep and took off.
Changed his pants.
Yeah, so it could be a very intense experience, and intense for everybody, the whole family, if you're dealing with that kind of activity. So anyway, but there's ways for you to get rid of them as well. Now, if they are more of like the demonic kind of energies or that kind of thing, then you probably need some help.
So those are toxic as well. Definitely some toxic energy.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Speaking of, I got a silver sheen obsidian crescent moon on, so block out some negativity.
Obsidian. Oh, yeah, we always do like what we're wearing. Go ahead and tell me, like, what are you wearing, girl?
Okay, so I only have 2 new additions. This is my lepidolite. I told you guys, if y'all didn't go get that lepidolite ring, I was gonna get it, so I did. And I love it. It's beautiful.
She warned y'all.
I did. I gave you opportunity. And then there's my Hypershine and Seraphonite. And then my beautiful, I love this guy too. It's my blue Kyanite.
Ooh.
That's what I got.
Yeah. Okay. So, you know, I changed the hand. I changed the hand. You know, I wanted that. I'm like, I was getting luck from this hand, but you know what? I shall receive. but get this. This is what's funny is I switch it out throughout the day so that way I can equally give and take.
Oh, because she's sweet like that.
So I'm like, okay, I'll put you in the middle right now. And then like a few hours later, I'm like, okay.
50-50.
That's right.
12 hours on, 12 hours over here.
That's right.
Your phone died.
Oh, my phone died. So yeah, we'll have to like look at things up here.
Here, I can scooch up here.
Oh, okay.
A little bit.
Yeah, we're good.
But
But I've got a tarot ring here. And this one is the sun. Okay. And then this is moon phases. I got a moon phase ring.
All that one.
That. I have turquoise. You know, to try to match the blues. But I do have I already said I have my Hyperstein. Yep, always have my Hyperstein here. And then, and then I sell these, by the way. Yep. If anybody is interested. Oh, okay, I'm going to get up close and personal.
Little shroom earrings.
I'm going to fall.
Oh, let me get this guy.
There we go. It's that Okay. Anyway, here you go. So I sell mushroom earrings, and so this one's the sky blue. So if anyone's ever interested, just message me. And yeah, so that's what I'm wearing. Oh, and you got the earrings on too.
I do, the same colors and everything. But I also forgot my addition, my big Cinnamoni bracelet. That'll destroy some stuff. So we're prepared.
Yeah.
We're good.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Uh-oh, how are we gonna do the Reiki if we don't have your phone?
Oh no! We can't do the Reiki then because we don't have my phone. Here, I can try to hook it up, but it might take a minute.
Okay. Well, how many minutes do we have?
I don't know.
Not many.
How much? What time is it?
I don't know. I can't say.
Hey, can somebody message us and let us know what time it is?
Okay. Live's gone wrong.
Yeah, malfunctioning, man.
Jackie likes her stuff. It is 6:56. Thank you, Chelsea.
Oh, it is like really close.
Thank you.
Thank you.
She's so good to me. I love Chelsea. Whenever she comes in the store, she has a beautiful present. We've met her.
I know. I love Chelsea.
Yeah, she's so great. And but then she's always like helping me with other customers. Like if I can't hear or attend to everybody, she helps me. I'm like, thank you. I mean, that's
nice.
Yeah, she's so sweet.
Chip in and help.
Yeah, she's a good girl.
Oh,
for sure.
Nice. Jackie says we all have a minute extra for Ladies of Light. Oh, good. Well, we could do it without music if you want to.
Okay, we'll do it quick because
we got just a few minutes. But here we go. That's right. You keep us on track, girl. Please do. Yeah.
Okay. Well, just go ahead. I'll just let you bust it out for a minute.
Okay. All right. Here we go. So all you're gonna want to do is say I accept. All right. Go, and you're actually going to hear me breathing and that kind of thing. Usually the music will cover me, but hear me cracking. Okay, now I'm going to pluck some of these worries away. Giving you guys love and light. It's done. Okay, and then here. Come in. There we go. So now we're doing the ball of energy here. Okay, and it is amplifying. So now we're just going to more.
Super cool.
Oh, I hope that helped everyone.
Yay!
Yeah.
Yeah, Rick always has beautiful Reiki.
Oh, thank you.
She's so sweet. I guess it's probably about time.
Yeah, I would
Yeah.
say that though. Yeah, it's
It
probably
always goes by so quick.
It does.
Well, we love you guys, and thank you for being here and continuing to watch and support us. And, you know, we appreciate you. And if you need anything, reach out to the LOL, the Ladies of Light. Isn't that a cool abbreviation?
LOL.
Yeah,
We laugh a lot, so you know that's pretty
so
appropriate.
Yeah. All right, guys. Well, until next Wednesday, I don't think we have a topic yet.
I don't think we have a topic yet.
We might put up a poll. Those are fun.
Yeah.
Okay, guys. We'll see you next Wednesday. Thank you so much.
Okay, thanks.